You know, there isn't a week that goes by without someone stopping me to talk about Jim O'Brien, the host of so many 6 ABC Thanksgiving Day parades throughout the years. And despite the fact that I never had the privilege of meeting him, boy, I'm glad they do, because I love the way people's eyes light up when they think about him. 30 years after his death, Jim O'Brien remains a towering figure in this city, in all of television, and in this newsroom. Thanksgiving in Philadelphia means turkey and football and, yes, the parade.
So here we are, gang. 61st annual Thanksgiving Day parade going strong.
For years, Jim O'Brien brought it to your living room. But Jim was a man who wore lots of hats, and in each, he was lovable and he was loved.
What do you mean by that? You little devil.
From 1976, the year he joined Action News, to 1983, the year he tragically died, Jim O'Brien was television. It was a career, though, born behind a different microphone, as Jim first rocked this city on the radio, a DJ with a certain flair.
You know I love him, Stevie, in a Superstition song at WPVI-TV.
I know that everything he did with gusto, you know, and I know that Philadelphia was so close to his heart.
Recognize her? Perry Gilpin starred as Roz on the hit TV show Frasier, but one of this actress's most prized roles was the one she was born with. Perry is Jim O'Brien's daughter, and for the first time, she's speaking to us about her dad.
I think he was one of those guys that was just on, and he loved it. I mean, he did find his bliss. He found where he wanted to be, which is wonderful.
Jim famously began his TV career here with Dialing for Dollars, produced by Art Moore, now production manager for Live with Kelly and Michael. A keen eye for talent, Art knew his best friend had it.
As talented as he was, there's no doubt in my mind he would have continued to grow and develop, and who knows where that potential could have led.
And so Jim quickly made the move into news here at Channel 6, anchoring at noon and at 5 p.m. In that role, viewers saw a more serious side of the man, and a clearly sensitive one. When thousands of people filled Logan Square to watch Pope John Paul II say Mass, it was O'Brien who brought it home.
He's an amazing man in so many different ways.
And when the shuttle Columbia launched into space, it was Jim who beamed us back the pictures. All of that made Jim's well-known zany side something to savor.
And now that we've lost you completely, let me get you back with some plain old garbage about the weather thing. All right, gang? Here we go.
Weather forecasting was decidedly low-tech then, but Jim had his pointer and his clouds.
A goose bumper, to be sure. Let's call it boomers and give you a little bit of an explanation.
Yes, on camera was where Jim belonged and spent most of his time. But in the years before his death, his free time was occupied by another passion, skydiving, which he fell in love with while filming a TV segment.
First jump is a real moment.
And there would be many more, until his 814th jump, the day his chute didn't open. But before his death, Jim reflected on his life and the connection he made with viewers that lives on even 30 years later.
What I figure is that they trust me. They believe me in whatever role I am. They say, that's Jim O'Brien. And he's doing what he always does. He's trying to tell us something. He's trying to communicate with us. And that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line. A life well lived. And tomorrow on Action News at 4, we're going to hear more from Perry Gilpin. His daughter, who as mentioned, spoke with us for the first time. So emotional, still after 30 years. And I want to share this with you. Pretty incredible thing. This was Jim O'Brien's last magnetic cloud. He delivered this on his last forecast here before he died. It said brilliant, dated September of 1983, and I think it's a perfectly appropriate way to remember the man because he too was brilliant. And I know that from having researched this story and from having heard from so many of you over the years that I've been here about what a great man he was.
And I think that's the same thing. I mean, when I meet people, his name comes up more than not about the unique ways that he presented the weather. And I think only he could do those unique ways, you know what I mean, because he got away with pretty much anything he wanted to get away with. So yeah, a brilliant guy and really nice.